Minecraft has a huge variety of biomes, each with their pros and cons. Since biomes are what literally makes up Minecraft, other than Superflat, I decided to rank them all. Minecraft biome tier list. Oak biome. Easy to find villages in and good for making houses. A tier. Mesas. Good for finding gold and mine shafts, but other than that they kinda suck. C tier. Dripstone caves. Good for finding ores and mine shafts, but one fall and you're dead. B tier. Flower forests. Just forest with a little more kick. A tier. Cherry blossoms. Kinda useless, but they're really pretty, so B tier. Frozen ocean. I personally wouldn't go there unless I needed packed ice, so D tier. Frozen peaks. Good for finding ores like emerald or iron and packed or blue ice, and they look pretty cool, no pun intended, but they're pretty tricky to navigate, so I'm putting them in B tier. Ice spikes. The ice spikes themselves can be turned into cool, get it, houses, but they aren't that good and they're pretty rare, so they're not a good ice source. So I'm going to put them in E tier. Jagged peaks. Great for finding ores, especially iron, coal, and emerald. But there's a lot of powdered snow, which is really annoying. Plus it takes a lot of time to move around on them, so I'm going to put it in B tier. Lush caves. In lush caves, there's axolotls, which help you fight off the mobs you find in there. And you can find ores. And there's glowberries in there, so you have a food source. Plus, I really like the spore blossoms in there. And they're pretty even without the spore blossoms. So I'm going to put them in S tier. Mangrove swamp. When I see one, I just want to get a sapling and get out because they're really annoying to travel through with their mud, water, and trees, but especially when they're hilly. And the trees aren't even that good because the wood looks like raw meat and it's hard to get it from the trees. There is frogs though, which is kind of cool, so I'm putting them in E tier. Plains biome. Plains biomes are great for building houses since they're so flat, and great for farms and finding food, just starting out in general. So I'm putting it in S tier. Mushroom Island. Mobs can't spawn on Mushroom Islands. Plus, mushrooms make a great source of food, but if you start on one, you have to go all the way to the mainland to get wood. So, they're great for the later game. A tier. Old growth spruce taiga. They're just spruce biomes with way more kick. My favorite wood is spruce wood, so I love these biomes. Plus, they have cute wolves and foxes and all the wood your heart could possibly desire. S tier. Savanna. Savanna biomes are good for finding the new armadillo and spotted wolf. On the other hand, I'm not a big fan of acacia wood, and savanna biomes go for so long sometimes. The villages look pretty cool though, so I'm putting it in C tier. Minecraft biome tier list part 4, Snowy Plains. I hate these biomes, they have almost nothing good in them. Almost no trees, hard to get food, and there's strays at night. The only thing more annoying than strays in my opinion is fences. There's also barely any passive mobs, so getting things like a bed is difficult. The one good thing about them is that they have villages and igloos, but igloos are pretty useless, and there's villages in every other biome. Plus they seem to go on forever. I've spent over an hour trying to get out of just one of them. F tier. Snowy Mountains. Almost as bad as Snowy Plains, although it's a lot easier to get ores like emerald, coal, and copper, if you need that for whatever reason. E tier. Stony Peaks. An actually good biome now. I love spawning on these because of their abundance of ores, especially iron, coal, and emerald. Great for getting started. They also have calcite. The only other way to get that is through amethyst geodes. I also like how they aren't wide, just long, so you can get to other biomes and get stuff like wood easily. Unfortunately, they are hard to build them, and you don't really need them in a later game, so I'm putting it in A tier. Swamps. These biomes have their pros and cons. There's quite a bit of wood here, and mobs for food. Plus, you can build really efficient slime farms here. On the other hand, they look disgusting. Plus, with the little pools of water everywhere, it's really hard to build in. C tier. Taiga. I love these biomes. They have my favorite wood in them, spruce. Plus, they're easy to get food, build a house, and just start the game. They also have a decent amount of villages, and I find that taiga villages have more blacksmiths than other villages. Or is that just me? S tier. More motion. Very pretty and colorful biomes. The only biome you can gather coral reef, see tropical fish, and get sea pickles. They also have shipwrecks spread out in them, but are pretty rare and not that useful overall. B tier. Gravelly Peaks. These biomes are basically an infinite source of gravel. Great if you need it, otherwise they aren't very useful. They are tricky to navigate and don't really have anything interesting in them. D tier. Bamboo Jungle. Bamboo jungles are great because they basically give you infinite wood and scaffolding, which is really useful.
They can also have jungle temples in them, but they are so hard to navigate. B tier, dark oak forest. I controversially love dark oak wood. The biomes can also have woodland mansions, which means totems of undying, and more. And they also have mushroom trees and animals, which means infinite food. S tier, jungle. Jungles are easy to get wood in, and they have some decent structures like jungle temples. Plus, it's easy to get food in since there is a lot of watermelons. However, it's kinda hard to move around in, and if you're a beginner, there isn't many animals, so it's hard to get a bed, which means you're likelier to die. B tier, birch forest. There are a lot of animals in birch forest, so it's easy to get food in them. Plus, they're small, so there's easy access to other biomes nearby, and it's easy to make a house in them. But I'm not a super big fan of the wood. Plus, there isn't really any structures in them. C tier, cold ocean. In cold oceans, there's easy access to ores since there are shipwrecks. Plus, you can get ice easily in them. On the other hand, it's hard to get food. Plus, it's slow since running is faster than swimming. C tier, deep dark. In the deep dark, there's a lot of great loot like diamonds, enchanted books, and notch apples, and it's easy to get XP. However, it can be quite hard to find the ancient city, and hard not to die to the warden, but it's still a fun challenge. S tier, desert. In deserts, it's easy to make houses, get loot from desert temples, and find villages. However, it's tricky to find food in them and hard to get ores because of falling sand. A tier, pale garden. The pale garden is a cool concept and I really like the creaking, resin, and pale moss. However, I'm not a very big fan of the wood since it looks like it was bleached or something. I don't really know why I don't like it. B tier.